It's you and me, no place I'd rather be. Ding dong, hello, let's make this house a home.
There's that the one of the Gilmore Girls songs, the Lala songs that's on Instagram where you have like the actual lyrics, I forgot what it's called. The when we open our eyes and dream or whatever.
How to Dream.
Yes, I think the lyrics really makes me cringe because all I hear is when we open our eyes and dream, we open
We
our
open our
eyes.
eyes.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, some of the songs I'm like, ugh. I really would just like an album of just the Lalas. My favorite Lala song is the La 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 La. I really love that one.
That's a good one.
And I like La 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 la. That was so good.
It is good.
What's your favorite Lala song?
Um, oh, the one that's coming to my head right now is the la la la. Oh wait, that's the same one. When
Yep.
we open our eyes and dream, we open our eyes.
Yep. I also like the one where it's like la 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 la. I like that. It's the one that plays when Rory's researching the Life and Death Brigade, and she like finds out the Huntsburgers are in it. That one. Yeah.
Nice.
There's some people who really love the oh god, la 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 one, which is like fine, but I'm like, how is that your favorite?
Out of all of them.
Out of all the Lalas, yeah. So good. No, the la 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 one is the best one. It's the best Lala, and it plays at all the most emotional parts. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's why it's the best.
Yeah. Amazing. Welcome to Spencer and Sarah's house. I think I might leave that part in.
Yeah, don't mind us.
Our door was open. Come on in. Come to the backyard.
Welcome to our gazebo.
Yes.
We're just chatting real quick about our favorite Gilmore Girls Lala song.
Amazing.
Yeah. It just says a lot about you, I feel like.
Yeah. That's true.
I have strong opinions. I also love when people try to write, like people do like, here's my top 5 on Instagram, and then they'll try to write the Lalas, and I'm like, there's just no way. There's no way I'm gonna know what Lala song you're talking about. It's
That's
like
so funny.
la la la, or it's la 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 la, or la 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 la. I'm like, this transcription does not work.
I love it. Amazing. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. Sarah and I were just talking about my baby niece and nephew, so I'm in very high spirits because they're doing great and they're so cute and I love them. And they're gonna be almost 6 months old when I go back.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, my nephew's starting to like try to flip himself. He used to be able to flip like, I think it was from his back to his stomach. That happened at 3 months and scared the hell out of me because I was like, oh my god, like he's rolling over. That's so crazy. But also, isn't it too early? He's still tiny. And my brother was just so put out by it. He's like, God, I can't set him down because he's just gonna roll. Like I'm trying to get his blanket and he's rolling around. And then my mom like called me yesterday and FaceTimed me, and she was like, now he's starting to roll from his stomach to his back. So he's so close. And then my niece, oh my god, she's like chatty Cathy. I love it. She's so like da 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 da, like on and on and on and on. Oh my god. They're like, it's interesting. They're not developing at the same rate. Like it's like some things one is doing better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting, like where they're strong in and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Can't.
I'm doing good.
Nice. I can only imagine. I feel like I think about like babies trying to learn how to exist and be a human, and I feel like it's just so hard. Like,
Yeah.
I'd never want to be a baby again.
It is funny, like when I FaceTime them or we talk, or every time I see them, I'm just like, you're brand new. Like you're brand new, and I'm getting a firsthand seat to like what like we had to do as babies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm like, was I ever this small? Like, wow, it's so strange seeing them like picking up toys and like bringing them to their mouths, or like actually following you with their eyes, like being able to like make eye contact and stuff like that. It's so crazy. And it's also nice because like the smallest things, like the first time I got a photo of them smiling for the first time, I was like, oh my God, like it's so magical. It's just a smile, but like it's so big for them. I don't know. It's very much like taking me back to like the simpler things, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Definitely. Yeah.
So strange. Yeah. I can't
That's
wait
cool.
to like hear them talking. Like, like what are they gonna say? What are they gonna sound like? So exciting.
Yeah. Nice.
How about you, Sarah?
Yes, I'm doing good. What am I up to? I'm just chilling. I got nothing going on. Oh, have you watched Nobody Wants This?
I have not.
That
I've been posting about it a lot though because of Adam Brody.
Yes, I watched this while I was in Chicago. Binged it all, and it like healed parts of me. It was so amazing. Oh, highly recommend.
I swear to God, I have it on my list. I'm just that type of person who's like, I don't like to be told recommendations. I'll watch it when I'm good and ready. Like I just finished WandaVision 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah. The first one, the only one, yeah.
First one. What does that mean,
I'm
Sarah?
thinking of well, you finished it, right?
Yeah, it's done. Do you mean
Okay.
Agatha all along?
Yeah.
That's on my list next. I'm watching Multiverse of Madness first, and then I'm watching Agatha.
Nice.
Like, I just thought as an example. Like, how long ago did that come out? And I'm just now finished with it.
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God, Nobody Wants This is on my list.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've been posting out a lot because I'm like, all of you forgot Dave Rogowski, the man who read the entire Bible in one night just to figure out what his GF's mother was quoting to get her to let him date her.
Yep. Was so cute.
The man who ran over a mile to a hockey game just to see his girlfriend on a break while he was playing music for her mother.
Yeah.
At me about Dave Rogowski.
Oh yeah. I guess one update is I'm trying to work on enjoying cooking food. I haven't started, but I have like the intention to start doing, like there's like the desire to do that is in me. So I just got to figure out how to do it, and then I'll do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know what you should do? You should get like that headband that person made with Remy on it and just put it on your head, like make it fun for you, you know? You gotta make it fun.
So true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like that.
I admire that though. I hate cooking. It is my least favorite thing to do. I'm not a fan of it in any way, shape, or form. But I feel like I need to learn how to take care of myself. So
That's what, yeah, I feel like I just constantly find myself in places where I'm like, I haven't eaten enough today. And then like I don't know what to do about it, and I get very like you can put ingredients in front of me and I don't know what to do with them. Like I'm like I just get so like I don't understand like the quality of food. I don't understand it. And so I'm like, so I'm hoping like if I can try to make food that tastes good, that I enjoy making, maybe that will help and it'll like drive me to want to make more. But I hate spending time in the kitchen. I'm like, I'd rather sit on the couch.
Yep. I'm definitely like the person who sits on like the island with a glass of wine and is just like supporting role.
Yes, yeah, same. Yeah, because I feel like you put so much time into cooking this food, and then like a tenth of that time you spent cooking is how fast it is to eat it, and then it's gone. And then I'm like, well, what was the point?
Nourishment? What do you mean?
Do we really need this?
No. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
People need to be nourished, but
Yes. So yeah, trying to change my mentality on it all and seeing if that will help me.
nice. Yeah, I get so stressed about it. I had food poisoning when we were in college, as Sarah can attest because she lived with me while I had it.
I take the full responsibility. I feel like that was my fault too.
Why the hell do you think that was your fault?
Because you put sushi in the fridge and then it was like the next day and you went, will the sushi be fine? And I went, yeah, it'll be fine. And then you got
Stop it.
you got
No.
the food poisoning. I went, oh no.
Sarah, it's not your fault. Let me absolve you of that immediately. Also, give yourself some grace because it was a poke bowl and I had eaten all the ingredients except for the rice. So then the next day I was like, I don't want this rice to go to waste. Didn't
Yeah.
even put together there was raw fish in this at one point. And just ate the rice. So that was not on you, okay? I'm dumb. Don't take that on.
Okay.
Okay. I was a mess. I was so sick. I still went to rehearsal. They sent me home. That was so bad. But I think because of that, now I'm so weird about food. Anytime something looks slightly like pink in a burger or something like that, I'm always like, is this okay to eat? Is this okay? Like, because I never want to go through it again. So I think that really ruined my experience with like food. It's just pre-made things only. It's just not sustainable.
Yeah.
Have you ever had food poisoning?
No, but everyone that I know that has had food poisoning definitely like develop like this like a big fear, which is very valid of like I'm so scared to eat food now. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I just don't trust myself to make something edible. I'm like, I'm gonna undercook the chicken, that kind of thing. I'm always worried about that.
Yeah, that's why I just I don't like cooking meat, so I just stick to like veggies and like a vegan like chicken nuggets. Is what I'll heat up and add to it.
Yeah, do you remember? So Sarah and I used to play D&D with our friends when we lived in Chicago, and there was a time where it was at our place, so we made garbage plates for the meal. And I had never been more grateful that we had friends who were vegan because I was like, thank God, because we can just make the whole thing vegan and I don't have to worry about meat at all. But I really want a garbage plate. So
yes.
It was so kismet.
That's great. Funny. I was thinking recently, I was like, what if you and I lived together again? And I was like, what would we do about food? And I was like, all we would be eating is garbage plates.
But it'd be vegan. So it wouldn't be that unhealthy.
It'd be tasty.
Ugh, okay, so we need to talk about garbage plates for a hot second because it was so good. So we got this idea from a General Marbles video where she made Julian cook her favorite meal and they made a vegan garbage plate. And I was like, what the fuck is a garbage plate?
Yes.
And it's everything delicious. Is it home style potatoes? It's like potatoes that you would cube. And then mac salad, smash burgers.
Yep.
It's like a chili sauce.
Yes.
But it's not chili.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then mustard and ketchup, and it's the greatest invention in the entire world.
So good. Yeah.
I have to go grocery shopping tomorrow. I'm gonna get the ingredients. And I'm gonna make a vegan garbage plate because I want one now.
Hell yeah.
It's
good. And like that, like it takes a long time to make, or like it took us, maybe because we were just learning, it took us like a pretty long time. But like it was so good. Like that was worth it because you also had like food left over for like the whole week.
There's so much of it. There's so much of it. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's
good. I'm making one. And the reason I was thinking about this too is because I remember us being like, what if we undercook the soy burger? But it's like, can you? It's plants. Like, it's not raw meat. Like, how
Yeah.
would you undercook this?
Mhm.
How does that work?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I have to make the food, I'm vegan. If someone else is making the food, no, I'm not.
Exactly. That's how I am too. Yeah. Absolutely.
I just don't trust myself with meat.
Yeah. I've been like hard boiling eggs recently. That's like the extent that I'll do. That's
I
been
don't
good.
really. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. I keep interrupting you, and I apologize.
Oh, no, you're good. I like 'cause I don't really like eggs, but I've been like trying to find things that are more filling for me to eat. And so I've been doing like I really love when I have ramen and the little ramen eggs. Those are delicious. And
That's
so
what I was
like
just gonna say. I hate hard-boiled eggs, but if it's in ramen,
it's so
that's
good.
fine.
And I've tried making my own versions of those, which is so good too. And then I was like, I can kind of also transition to just regular hard-boiled eggs, I guess. So I'm not constantly eating soy-infused eggs.
No.
I don't mind it.
Refuse.
Yeah, that's
Devil
fair.
eggs.
Oh, absolutely not. I won't eat that. No.
Take the deviled eggs. No. I really like scrambled eggs. My grandma used to make. I'm devastated that I'll never have these eggs again. I've tried so hard to recreate them, and it's impossible. I'm gonna cry even talking about it.
Oh no.
Oh my god, what the fuck? Sorry, that kind of took me off guard. They were the best scrambled eggs in the world. I'm not exaggerating. They were so fluffy and light and watery, which is weird and off-putting, I feel like, but it made it better because you were just like swirling your your scrambled egg in the egg juice, but it was like so top tier. It was, I will never have eggs that good again. I don't know who can make them the way she did. Incredible. All this to say, because of that, I really love a soft scramble. A soft scrambled egg is like my favorite version of egg. Yeah.
Nice.
Now I really want some eggs.
Yeah.
And this is making me think about Twilight Reel, that from the clip from the Twilight episode. It's like her eggs. He wanted her eggs.
He was attracted to her eggs.
It's so gross. And probably the one thing I genuinely have an issue with in the series, because I'm like, this is yucky.
Absolutely. I've been reading, have I told you about, I've been reading the Black Jewels trilogy, which is a book that inspired the ACOTAR series. So this series was written in the 90s, and people on TikTok are making a lot of parallels, being like, Sarah J. Maas copied all this stuff from this book and just copied it into ACOTAR. I'm reading it, and I'm like, absolutely not. Like, it's just, I have really strong opinions about this. There's a lot of inspiration. There's similar names. There's similar, like, existence of beings, like of like races and stuff. And I'm like, yes, there's heavy inspiration. The storyline is completely different, like completely different storylines. And I'm like, and then there's one character whose name also matches a name in ACOTAR that no one talks about. And I'm like, you're gonna complain about this, but not like tie in the most obvious one. And I'm like, this is folly, just folly.
This is folly. You know, Sarah's mad when she gets real traditional with her insults.
It's if I ever rhyme, or if I ever say words that are from the 19th century, it's over.
If Sarah rhymes at you, run away immediately.
Literally.
Storm's coming.
But that book has been it's 3 books.
Yeah, is it good otherwise? Is it a good series? I can't tell.
This is I'm still reading it. It would never be it would never be okay now. It would never ever be okay now.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? I can't even get it out because I'm like, but I'm still reading it. It's like a mixture of ACOTAR and Game of Thrones, in the sense of like there's incest, And there's I don't know how to describe
Why
this.
is that a thing? Why do people find that like romantic or like something to romanticize?
Yes, my issue
Stop
is
it.
like you have the vast infinite possibility of imagination. Why does everyone have to be related? And why do they need to have sex? That's just my like, and so this book is about there's this idea of someone, basically it's like the world is like a matriarchal world, so they have queens that rule, and then like the men like serve the queens, but like there's a queen that's like there's one queen trying to overthrow the rest of them by kind of making it a more patriarchal world, and so it's like these men are starting to take more power secretly and invade kind of. And then there's this legend of someone called Witch, like a capital W Witch. And the idea is that she's going to come back and unite the lands. And so the story is about like how she's just she starts off only being 7 and she's like just this kid who like starts popping up in different parts of the realm and meeting different people. So she meets like the High Lord of Hell, and he's like, who the fuck are you? And she meets like there's like other people like all around, and she like starts to like unite people, and like they realize what she is, so they're like, we're gonna serve her. And so like there's like this thing of like she's gonna have a father, a brother, and a lover, and those 3 are gonna like bring her to power. And so like
I think we have talked about this. Okay, that
yes.
sounds familiar. Also,
Yes.
why stop making children deal with these issues? Stop it. I just sent you a reel about this too, right? Where I was like,
Yes.
can you just age up your fucking characters? I don't want to read about fucking teenagers. Like, please, for the love of God. Let me bring my mic closer for this. Stop doing this. Please, for the love of God. Please, make your characters 21 or older. For the love of God.
It's not that hard, and it's more relatable to the majority of people. Yeah. And so like I finished the first book. The first book got to an intense part where I was like, I don't know if I can read anymore. Because like she was 12 and had met the person that is like destined to become her lover, who is 500 years old.
No.
Obviously like he's not doing anything, but the issue is that like this book is supposed to be like empowering to women, but it's all from the perspective of all the men. So like from this man's perspective, he's like, I'm attracted to her, but I'm not going to show it. And I'm like, I don't want your thoughts. I don't want your thoughts. And he doesn't want them either. And I know that, but it still doesn't make it okay.
Also, the fact that you just said it's a book about empowering women, but it's also sexualizing a 12-year-old, that is literally the problem. Look how close my mic is. This is how serious I am. I'm up in it. That is literally one of the problems of being a woman in real life, is like the early what am I trying to say? I mean, you know it, because you know. What am I trying to say, Sarah? The early conditioning of expecting the male gaze as soon as you are starting to look like a woman. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
Who wrote it? Is the author a man or a woman?
A woman. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like it was written in the 90s, so I'm like, nowadays it's not okay. It's just not okay. I'm still reading it though. I'm still reading it because in the sense of like in the fantasy world, the way it's written, the worlds that are built, it's pretty good. Like I'm more interested in the father, the witch father is also the father of the brother and the lover.
What?
Yes. I'm more interested in and they're all estranged. And so like I'm more interested in his relationship with his sons and like how that's going on. Like that's like where more of the stuff is happening. I'm like, oh, this is cool to see. But everything else, I'm like, this is in like if you read these books, you have to throw out a lot of your ethics and morals out the window, and then even then you're going to be tested. You're going to be tested, and it's not great. It's bad. I'm halfway through the second book, and she's now 17. It's Um, it's wild. I have no context of the author or like the times when this was written in. I'm just reading it because TikTok mentioned it. So like I'm interested in other people that do read it, what their thoughts are or were if they read it when it came out. But it's highly problematic. I'm still reading it for research purposes more than the enjoyment. Yeah, it's interesting.
Man, what a roller coaster you've just taken me on. I can only imagine what it's like to be reading it. I don't ever want to read it.
You don't have to.
I'm not going to.
It's basically it's if you extended the storyline of Jacob and Renesmee. That's what's happening basically. Which is just a whole other realm of we don't need to go there.
Yuck. For real. You did bring up a question for me though. So I personally don't like to DNF books. I like to finish them because I'm like, especially if it's a book I have complicated feelings about where I'm like, I'm really liking it so far, but it's not going where I think it is. Maybe it's, like I like to finish it and read it its entirety to form an opinion on it. Yeah. If I'm like halfway through and I start to hate it, I'm still like, but I feel like I'm in it now. I want to finish it and just see where it goes. If it's something that like I can't stand, like stuff like that, like I really heavily research my books ahead of time. So I'm like, why would I even want to start reading something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just, but I watched a reel today where someone was like, if you don't DNF books you don't like, what is wrong with you? Like, you're a people pleaser. Like, that means that means like, if you're not going to DNF a book that you don't like, are you not going to DNF me if we're not getting along? Like, it's like that kind of mentality. And I was like, yeah, I felt really defensive immediately and personally attacked because I was like, but don't do that. Like, it's a fucking book. This is not, these things do not correlate in my opinion. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I guess maybe this is a stupid personal rule to have where I wouldn't like, because I just finished a book that I loved for the first half and then it went so fucking downhill and I was like, I don't even want to finish it, but I was like, I'm gonna finish it though. I don't want to be a DNFer. But now it's kind of changing my mind on it a bit. I'm like, maybe I need to give myself some leeway to DNF books. But I just don't like doing that because then I'm like, I don't know. What if there's something that happens in the last 20 pages where I'm like, oh, so it did tie together somehow, Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
I've definitely, like, I think I've yet to DNF a book, but I also think when there are books I'm reading that I'm not enjoying, I think about the time I'm putting into it of like just in the span of my life, and I'm like, am I going to spend another 10 hours reading this book when I could be doing something that is more enjoyable? That's kind of like the question I ask myself when I'm reading a book that I'm like struggling through. I'm like, is this worth giving my time to or not? And if I don't want to if it's not worth it, then maybe I will just let it go. And then like if I need to know how it ends out, I'll just Google it. I guess just look it up, I guess.
Yeah, there are some books like that I do not want to read at all, but they consider classics. But like for the reasons we just talked about, like Flowers in the Attic, Lolita, people are like, these books are so important to literature, and I'm like, I don't want to read it because that's not the subject matter I vibe with. I don't want to do that. When it's like stuff like that, I'll just Google it because I'm like, if it's really that important to know, fine. Yeah. But like, devil's advocate for what you just said. Not that I disagree with you. Just my issue too is I'm trying to push myself out of the normal genre of books I read just because I'm like, let me just, I'm just trying to grow as a reader. So I'm like, maybe I'm too stuck in this. So I've been trying to go outside of my genre. So sometimes I'm worried the feeling of I don't want to finish this book or read any more of it is because it's not my normal, what I normally read. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm also worried now I'm not like as critical of a reader as I think I am. Because I'm like, why do I not like this book? But like this has so many ratings, like good ratings on Goodreads. Like, then I get like real in my head about it. I'm like, maybe I just didn't get it. Like And I'm like, oh God, because I've been reading too much fantasy books. This is why I have to read more books outside of that realm. But I'm also like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I'm being a very self-critical reader right now.
I feel like I used to read a shit ton of nonfiction books. Like it was like autobiographies from actors, people I thought would be important to get their perspective from, or like yoga related books, acting related books, and like all these different like or nonfiction things.
Yeah.
And then at some point I was like, I'm reading these things, but I'm not actually gaining anything from them for the most part. And then I was like, I'm not having fun reading them either. And then when I rediscovered reading through the like romantasy genre, I was like, oh. And so now I feel like maybe at some point I will get tired of that and like try other things, but I'm also trying to just let myself like not put external like I should be doing this or I should be reading this, and just being like, I like what I like. And it's okay if I don't veer from the romantasy genre, that's fine, because I'm having a good time. And if I do, that's fine too. Yeah. Kind of leaving it open.
You just... Oh God, you're making me have like a realization right now.
Oh no.
I think this is a people-pleasing tendency, Sarah. I think this is another, like, I want to be normal type of feeling. That I'm trying to just fit in. And that's stupid. Like, what am I doing?
Like, I think it's perfectly fine to want to explore and venture and see if there's other things you like. But I think it's exploring where that want.
Yeah.
Yeah, like where the want comes from. Whoa. Wow. Wow.
Be honest with me. Is my Owen Wilson impression good? Wow.
I think so.
Like on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being like
Wilson.
One's like Owen Wilson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'm a opposite kind of gal.
That's wild. Okay, that's good to know.
I know. It's strange, but that's how I am.
It's fine.
Okay.
I accept you.
Thank you about trying. Hold on, let me bring the mic closer. Wow.
I could give it like a 2.
For real?
Yeah, I think so.
So many people have told me my impression's bad. I just knew it wasn't.
I loved it. I think.
Thank you.
I think what would point it towards a 1 would be more. I think it's like it can be a little airy. So if there's like more of like a voice.
Wow. Too airy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. Wow.
Wow. Can you do any celebrity impressions? That's the only one I've ever worked on.
I don't think so. None that come to mind.
Sorry, I'm like hitting things on my table. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Sidebar. Owen Wilson sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this episode veered very differently.
I think I prefer this. I'm happy for this to just be a random, wherever the conversation goes.
Yeah, we were really going into this being like, we're going to talk about sexuality and relationships, and yeah, we went on a book tangent.
Yeah.
Ooh, can we do a quick what we're reading right now? What we're reading?
What we're reading? Yes.
I'm gonna grab the book. I want the physical.
Got Reading on my Kindle.
Oh,
I mean, I just gave a
Kindle
20-minute
reader?
rant about what I'm reading. I'm reading. So what I've done is, because I don't want
I
to have.
accept you though.
Thank you. I don't want to have like too many books. So what I'm doing is, I'll check out a book on my Kindle first, read it. If I enjoy it, I'll buy a physical copy of it. And then like, because I think I use my books more as like home decor, and so I want like the books that I really enjoy and am passionate about, I'll buy.
I kind of look at my books as like a museum of me. That's why I like to have the physical, because then like something I like to do when I meet like if I go to someone's house for the first time, I like to see what books they have.
Oh,
Like,
nice. Yeah.
what are you into?
What you reading? Yeah.
I like the physical because, well, can I reveal that we're reading this yet?
Yeah.
Probably, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to do the next book in the Court of Akatar series. So because I'm not usually a tabby person, but with these books I've been tabbing because we talk about them. And I'm reading this book right now too, The Thief. Megan Waller Turner. I picked this up like for very cheap. It's like a series, but I didn't know.
What's it about?
I don't really know. It starts with this dude Gen. He's like a thief by trade. That's like just how he lives, and he's in prison, and like magic is a thing in this world.
Cool.
And he's like taken out of his cell one night to go talk to like the head magus, like wizard or whatever. And they're like, "So you're a really good thief?" And he's like, "Yeah." And the magus is like, "Okay, I need you to steal this thing. I'm gonna take you with me. Like we're gonna go on a journey together. And if you steal it for me, you will be free. Like you don't have to be in prison anymore." So that's as far as I got so far.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, I'm just reading the second book to the Black Jewels trilogy. Yeah.
Well.
That's all I got.
Godspeed to you, I guess, is what I'm learning.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's like a book where it's like I'm not obsessed with it. Like I'm not like with Akatar, I'm like I have to keep reading. Whereas like this, I'm like I'm definitely not obsessed with it, but like it's good enough to keep reading until just to see what happens.
I see.
Gotcha. And then because I think she's written like 12 books within like the world itself, which I don't think I'm going to continue. I definitely won't continue that. But I want to like research her as an author and see if she's written other things and if they've gotten better, maybe. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I'm just decompressing still from everything you told me about that book.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Wild.
And now time for a break. Our breaks have a visual component that can be viewed on our YouTube channel.
So I'm pretty upset because I'm supposed to be showing you my crystal collection, and I've torn my room apart, and I can't find any of my crystals. It's like, I know I moved, so maybe I put them somewhere that I just don't remember. Or did I lose them? Did I even bring them with me? I don't know. But I can't find them. And so I'm losing my mind. So I will show you what I did find. So I used to keep them all in here. And I had a bunch of rose quartz and aventurine and amazonite and tiger eye. And now I have no idea. Like I have this guy. I can't remember which one this is, but it's really pretty. You see that? Kind of. And then I have these, which I believe are they sunflowers? I can't remember. It's a flower pressed into rocks. So I just put that with my collection. And then the rest in here is just like a mishmash of little baby crystals. But I'm like so shook by this. Like where? Where did it all go? I don't know. But that's my crystal collection, I guess.
So this is most of my crystal collection. I at the moment keep them just in my bag. I got a giant amethyst, some rough quartz,
And just a lot. There's a lot in here. I used to make like altars out of them, which I've kind of stopped at the moment. I keep some in my little nook over there to place them out in the light. But right now I just keep them in here. Spencer and I used to go to a shop in Chicago that would sell crystals, so anytime we were feeling low, we would just take ourselves to the crystal shop to feel better and buy some crystals and rocks. Yeah, so I've got a pretty good collection, so I don't collect too many anymore because I feel like I've got a lot of them. And now back to the podcast.
So do you still want to talk about what you were telling me was on your mind?
I guess so, yeah.
If you want, we don't have to.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. I think, yeah, because I didn't have much to say about it anyway, so this is good to, like, add into this anyway. Yeah, so I was listening to a podcast. It's called, actually, because it's really good and it's new, but it's from Elena Joy, who is a YouTuber and does a different podcast called Chosen Family, but she's also studying to be a therapist, and she's getting her master's in therapy. And so she created this new podcast called Sleeping Around because she enjoys talking about like sex, relationships, and queerness. And so she like interviews different therapists and relationship experts and stuff like that to kind of give people a view into what like a therapy session looks like and like the things that are talked about in sessions. And so this podcast is called Sleeping Around, which is newer, and she just released an episode with this person who has OCD, and she was just talking about how she's like studied a bunch of different types of OCD, and she was talking about one type, like one facet of OCD, which is called relationship OCD, and that's like this thing of where your mind like is compulsively thinking in this loop of like questioning the relationship you're in, basically, of like, am I in the right relationship? Is this right for me? Am I happy? What does this mean? Am I really in love? What does love even mean? And like it's like this constant thing that's not giving you any answers. It's just like continuously doing that. And that's something that I was experiencing a few months ago for like a while, and it was like causing me like a lot of like distress mentally and physically. It was starting to affect me physically, which is when I was like, I need to fix this and address this. But it was like something that I was like, oh, I didn't like, that was interesting to know, because I think I've like learned that I do have OCD tendencies, though I'm not diagnosed, but it's something that I've like grown up with, and like realizing like being able to relate to what she was describing perfectly. I was like, is that what I was experiencing? It was like super reassuring, because I was like, that's what it was. I'm not like losing my mind, or like I was like worried that I couldn't like trust my body or like what I was feeling. And it was nice to like put context to what I was experiencing.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a lot. This was me on my way to the grocery store going, I was like, huh? What's happening?
And what's it called? I'm gonna pull up a definition to like have it in front of me.
Relationship OCD. I'll also preface, I haven't looked further into it yet. So I don't know what is out there, but
I just wanted to make sure I was following you.
Yeah.
Wow. See, okay. How do you distinguish that though from genuinely being like, do I want to be like, is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they talk about it in the episode. The answer that the person gave was like, basically, her advice was like, if you're having thoughts about like immediate needs that aren't being met, that can be met, like I'm not getting these things, aren't being met for me, and like you talk to the person you're in a relationship with, be like, these things aren't being met, and then if they meet them, great, and if they don't, that's when you like hit it out. And then, but then she's saying her suggestion was like, to challenge those thoughts that are more of like the compulsive, like, and I don't know, is this right or not, was like to just do it, like to move in with them, to get married to them, and then you'll find out. If it's like you'll find out and it's not that big a deal. Like if you find out, then that's okay. And then you go, okay, I did find out it's not for me. And then you adjust. Yeah.
The like getting married to find out things seems wild to me.
I think like take other steps before you're at the marry part. But if you're at
I was like, from like working in a law firm perspective, that's breaking that up is a lot of work just legally. Like emotionally, I could not imagine.
Yeah, no, I think that's like if you're at that point where it's like you're questioning that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That like comforts me, but simultaneously worries me too, because I'm just like, oh god, yet another thing I'm gonna have to sit and parse through when I'm anxious.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I feel like for me it's like I struggle with the unknown, and like if things are muddy in the future, it's hard for me to like handle that of like not knowing exactly how this is gonna work out. Which is like that's just life, and I have to learn how to accept that. But it's like yeah, I think like at least being able to be like, oh, like just to challenge it a little bit and be like, if I do move in with someone and it doesn't work out, I just move out. It's okay.
Yeah.
And like there'll be like some like challenges of like finding a new place to live, and like it might be a financial thing, but like in the end it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's something that you would talk to. Would you talk to your partner about those doubts and feelings? Like sometimes, like I think this is still the recovering like people pleaser and fear of making my needs known in me. Like part of me wonders like, I feel like there's a very large potential for that to be like damaging on its own. That conversation, because I feel like it'd be so easy to take it like, well, if you're having these feelings, like, you know, now I'm worried about the state of things. And it's like, no, I'm just trying to express this to you because like I usually work these types of fears out with you. Like you know what I mean? That's scary.
It is scary. I like not to for me, those were things I did voice. So like if I share those things, it's like, okay, like I'm so sorry you're feeling that way. It must be really hard and stressful. And then it's like, okay, cool. And then like I feel better. You feel better like even just being heard that way. Yeah.
Yeah. I think my biggest issue that I've been working on is like when I was in that, what you were alluding to, the previous, like a relationship in the past where it was hard to express things because there was not, you know, a supportive reaction or like coming at it from a let's solve it together perspective.
Yes, yeah.
I think it became easy for me to just be like, well, I'm just not going to talk about it and not say anything now when something goes bad. So like I take responsibility for that. That is my issue of like, even if something feels hard to say, if it's affecting me the way it is, I need to say something. Like you can't read my mind, you know? Yeah. And that's something I'm not trying to repeat.
Yeah.
And have been working on. So I think that's why I asked that question of like, well, how would you know the difference? You know, like, yeah. Relationships are so complicated. It's so strange. But I agree, like, because then when I started doing that of like vocalizing like struggles I was having or like this is how I'm feeling right now, as hard as those conversations were, after the fact, it was never a feeling of like I wasn't obsessing over it anymore. Like it was relief, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Even if you were still feeling sad. It was like, at least I'm not sitting with this anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding is that like when I'm feeling like an uncomfortable, like there's like things just like in general now that I'm used to like vocalizing those types of things. Like if I feel like discomfort and I go, that's not on me to have to sit and deal with this. I can express it in like a nice and healthy, safe way. Of being like, but like it's something where it's like I'm trying to give myself the gift of like, I don't have to sit with this. I can like do something about it, kind of thing, and not force that onto myself. If that makes sense.
That does make sense. I think another thing I've realized too is like I have the very, I feel like not, I know unhealthy tendency of I need to be able to fix this on my own. I need to be able to know what I'm thinking and feeling at all times, but I just don't. Like I'm not good at that. That's something which annoys me to no end because I'm like, how could I not know my own thoughts and feelings? Like, how do I not know how to talk to myself? It's so frustrating. But it's just true. Like, so this idea of like, oh, I need to sit with this and figure it out for myself and not talk to the one person who could actually do something about it is crazy. You know, those are the types of things I'm thinking right now as we're talking about this.
Yeah. And I think like I struggle because like I feel like I don't know what it is of like, I feel like the way I grew up thinking about like, it's like that Disney perspective of like, you find the one, the feelings are magical, everything's like energetic. And like, once you do that, like that's the end of the story. So you don't have to worry about anything else. Like, I feel like that's something that's like so ingrained in me. My brain can't wrap around the concept that relationships continue once you find your person.
Yes. Yeah, I used to never really understand that phrase of like, it's work. Like we work every day and like, you know, working together, blah, blah. That always came across so strange to me of like, well, shouldn't it not be work? Like, shouldn't it just feel good all the time? And I used to have such a negative connotation with that idea around it. But now I realize it's true. And it's not just work between the two people. It's the internal work you're doing yourself as well to make sure you're okay and showing up. But also, if you're not feeling supported, voicing that like that, that's work. That's work, and it's not bad work.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being an adult is so hard.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting though. It used to like annoy me too. Where I'm like, wow, we just have like a phrase for everything, huh? Like there really is no like everyone has this canon event. But now I'm like, it's actually comforting to be like, I don't know. I talk to my therapist a lot about this, where I'm like, I feel so alone in this feeling. And she's like, but you're just not. Like you feel alone because you're the only one having the thoughts you're having. You know, no one knows what you are thinking, but that doesn't mean they're not also thinking the same thing about themselves. It's just that's why it feels so lonely. Like, and it's like we're just not. Nobody is having an original experience, really.
Nope.
Oh my god! Wow. Good topic, Sarah. That's really having me think about a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
Self-reflection is very strong in this moment.
Yeah, I definitely want to like look more into like what relationship OCD is and other like research that's gone into it and stuff.
Yeah, me too. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And eye-opening. Do you ever get really How many times am I going to cry today? Do you ever get really tired of just feeling like you're always at work internally? Like there are times where I'm like fighting to stay present in the moment, and I can feel myself trying to disassociate just to get through big feelings. And then I like when I'm home and like resting later, I'm just like, I am so mad that I have to do this. Like I am so angry that I can't just be present and feel my feelings all the time. Like I hate that it feels like something I'm actively like, you know, keeping myself at the console for.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. In my head, the way I've been able to verbalize it is I feel like there's a like adult me, like my person that's like I am in the moment present, I'm a functioning adult and like I'm about it. And then I feel like I have a kid version and a parent version. And the kid version is like when I'm feeling low, when I'm just like not coping well with things, and then my parent version is the like overseer of like making sure things are like okay. And I feel like when I get in like my parent brain of like constantly checking in on me, I feel like I'm like in that the most of like, am I okay? Am I okay? Like it's constantly, are you okay? What do we need to do to make it better? How do I do this? Let's self-soothe now. We're gonna do this now. Try to be more present. And it's like it's so exhausting. It's so tiring.
Yeah. And I know that none of us are having an original experience, but I'm like, it feels so strange to me that I have to actively sit down and be like, why was I mad about this? Or like, what is really happening right now? Like, am I off in La La Land in my head, or am I actually like standing here on the earth, like talking to this person, having this experience? Like, why am I, why? Why?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you ever have like, I have this feeling a lot too. Sorry, I'm like, we're talking about something serious, so I have to have something in my hand to like keep me focused. So I apologize that I'm not making a lot of eye contact right now.
That's okay.
I always feel so guilty too for having these issues because like I feel we were always kind of, I feel like it's assumed if somebody's having mental health issues that it's like something happened. There was like a triggering event, you know, in their life, or like there's circumstances in their lives that like you're allowed to be having these issues. Whereas I personally, I mean, we've had issues obviously, and like I'm not like unscathed from life, you know.
Yeah.
And like, you know, family stuff and whatever. But there wasn't like an inciting event that I could go back to and be like, this is what caused the anxiety and all these issues to stem from. Like it just feels like it's always been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me feel so guilty sometimes. I'm like, why am I complaining? Like this, you know what I mean? Like why do I feel like I get to feel bad about myself when like I have it pretty good? You know what I mean? Does that am I coming across?
Oh, yeah. Is it like feeling guilty for how you're feeling because there wasn't an inciting incident, but you're still feeling this way,
Yeah.
these things. Yes. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I'm definitely like I've been like questioning of like not even like the nature versus nurture kind of thing of like an upbringing and how you become who you are, but like the just like why. Like I feel like I grew up like just feeling like this like overwhelming sadness for like no reason, like no inciting incident. It was just something I've always felt, and I was like, but why? Like
But for why?
and like what is it really just like a chemical thing? Like is it like I just don't understand. I'm like what and why? Why?
Yes, agree. Yeah, there's just so many times where I'm like, why? Yeah, why? Like, I feel very lucky to have the life I have, so I don't understand why I sit here being like, I hate myself. I don't deserve to like be here. Like those kind of things. I mean, that kind of thinking actually is like more the old me. I feel like I actually don't think that way a lot lately, which is good, but that's how it started. So it's just like, for what? Like, why am I hurting my own feelings this way?
Yeah, and I feel like I am like I struggle with like they're like you do grow. There is growth in like both of us of like there are some things that maybe we used to think that we don't think anymore. And we've like developed a different way of thinking about it or approaching things. But then I'm like, okay, but but is that how we feel, or have we just developed a coping mechanism about the feeling? Like, are we just treating it? And then I'm like, can I ever trust how I'm feeling because it'll change?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Spiraling.
Just a little bit, yeah. Just a
Yeah.
tiny bit today.
Yeah. This is something I've been talking to my therapist about, and and she was like, we don't need to approach it head on. How about we just like we'll circle around it and like find different things instead of trying to hit it head on. And I was like, that sounds great. That sounds good.
Yeah. I've actually found through the current therapy I'm doing that I already have a lot of the answers. I just don't like to think on them, like, so we do a lot of internal family system dealia where she'll be like, what's something that's on your mind? And I'll kind of tell her how I'm feeling. And she's like, where do you feel it? And so it's like, maybe it's here, for example. And she's like, okay, why don't, like, let's just breathe through it. Like, what is it? Like, how old do you think it is? Like, what do you, like trying to connect to that. And usually when I do, I have these big realizations, like, oh my god, actually, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I had one recently and I wrote it down in here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, my like quick writing down handwriting is so difficult to read. I'm like, who wrote this? Like a crazy person. Yeah, we were talking, I don't know, I was just having a hard time, and so we were sitting there, and she was like, just tell me what's coming to you as we're going through this meditation thing that we were doing. Oh, we were doing this thing because I was like, I'm so stressed, and I haven't felt the physical symptoms of my anxiety in a long time, and I hate them because they're scary and they're very big.
Yeah.
And so we were doing this exercise where it was like, you sit, you let the thought sit in your brain for like 3 seconds. Like, you just let it be, like, think on it, like, actually let yourself be stressed and think about it. And then she was like, physically get rid of it. So I was doing this thing where I was like pulling it like Harry Potter memory style out of my forehead, like chucking it across the room. And then I started to feel like this feeling in my back that was like soothing. And I was like, it's that feeling. I don't know her. Like, she's never been here before. She's like the present me. Like, she's the integration of the progress I've made. And she's in my upper spine, in the back of my head. And like, I only felt her for a second, but it was like telling me like, setting boundaries with other people is important, but setting boundaries with me is important too. And the reason I was thinking that came to me is because what you just said about like, we don't have to come at it head on. It was the same thing. Like, it was like she was telling me like, you can feel these feelings and it's fine, but like, you don't have to solve everything right now. Like, like, there are some things you're not ready to deal with, and that's fine. That's okay. Like, set that boundary then. I'm not going to think about this anymore. Like, I'm going to let myself be stressed and then let it go. Like, it can't sit here forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, like, then I was like, well, setting my relationship with setting boundaries is so skewed because I feel so bad setting them at all with anyone.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's why I shy away from the hard feelings and why it feels bad to set the boundaries. And I should try changing my thinking because it's okay to only spend a little time with it. What did I say? Because then when I don't set the boundaries, then I just pull away from myself and other people, and I let myself feel the resentment more than anything else. But the resentment is my own creation because I'm not doing it. And like, that's also, I think, where a lot of the self-hatred and self-doubt comes from, because I'm not setting that boundary of like, well, then we're just not gonna if I'm not ready to deal with it, I'm not ready to deal with it. Like, put it on the back burner, let it exist for like 5 seconds, because every time I let it exist a little longer, it gets easier.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was weird. But yeah, you saying that right now just sparked that memory in me where I was like, oh yeah, I remember I just had like a similar. Yeah, it doesn't need to be dealt with head on. Sometimes the roundabout way is better.
Oh, now I'm gonna cry. Jesus Christ.
Hey, I've been doing it all day.
Ooh.
I know. It makes me think of when we talked about how like the healing is not linear. It's not. It's
Yeah.
just not. It's not like that at all.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That was nice though. I feel like thanks for sharing, because I feel like that like gave me hope, I guess.
Well, thank you for letting me share it. I really value when we have talks like this because it's funny how much we always say we're so like-minded, and then when we have these talks, I'm like, we're real, like really, like,
Really, really.
yeah. That's why I'm like, I don't. That's why I value your opinion more than most people's, because like I know you know what I'm talking about. But also, I'm glad we're like separate beings right now in this current experience, because like I need you to be the mirror sometimes and be like, you're wrong, or like, no, yeah, you're right, yeah, like.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
To to do a fun full circle, when you were sharing that about like not, yeah, it's like that not having to deal with things right away and coming to it when you're ready. In the book that I'm reading of the in the Black Jewels trilogy, there is um so like the main character basically goes through a very traumatic experience, and then she basically like locks herself away for 2 years, where like she's just like in a stasis and she's like putting herself back together. And then when she comes back to like everyone who's like her like created family, um they're like, she doesn't remember the incident at all consciously, but she knows that something bad happened. But like it's this whole thing, like everyone around her is like, she'll face it when she's ready, like we're not going to touch it, like we're just here to support. And she's very much like, as she's getting older and stuff, she's very much like learning as she grows. She's like starting to put more pieces together, like put herself together even more, and like integrating her whole being, I guess. Which like is like a nice thing to read about in the book. Like there are some like nice things in there like that. So that just reminded me of that.
Oh, that's good at least.
Yeah.
A silver lining.
Yeah.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I feel like that kind of wraps us up here.
Yeah.
This episode went so not the way I thought it was, but I'm really grateful for it.
Yes. Me too.
Yay.
Where do you feel like we were today?
I don't know. I just feel like we're right here. We're where we are right now.
Yeah.
On our couches, talking through a screen.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Yeah, I get that. I think I would also say like lying in bed, chit-chatting.
Yep. Yes, I agree. I agree. Yeah. Well, I love you, Sarah.
I love you too. Great. And we love you, audience. Hope you're being
Hope you're all
kind
doing
to
okay.
yourself.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself this fall/autumn.
Yes, agree. Well, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.